You won't believe what this drone just discovered beyond the ice wall of Antarctica. One might think of Antarctica as a barren wasteland, but it is actually a land full of secrets beneath the ice, secrets that even today's scientists find baffling. From a submerged continent to mysterious tunnels, here are 20 discoveries in Antarctica that have the potential to rewrite history. Number 20. Recovered satellite data reveals lost continent. As of January 2024, data from the satellite tracking website Orbiting now indicates 8,377 active satellites in various Earth orbits. Each of these satellites serves a different purpose. They provide information about our planet, from clouds and oceans to land and air. Satellites in orbit also provide in-flight phone communications on planes, and without them, voice communication in rural areas would be difficult. However, this satellite revealed something different. Data from a gravity mapping satellite revealed something incredible that astounded researchers in 2018. After examining a satellite that had been out of business for 5 years, experts stumbled upon data that changed the geological and geographical history of the icy continent. The discovery of the ancient continent was made using a gravity mapping satellite, specifically the Gravity Field and Ocean Circulation Explorer from the European Space Agency. Beginning in 2009, the GOES satellite meticulously mapped Earth's gravity field for 4 years until it was deliberately destroyed. Who would have thought that it held gravity images that changed the way we see Antarctica? New data solidified information that we already knew. You see, India, Australia, and Antarctica came from the same landmass known as Gondwana, a subsection of the supercontinent Pangaea. Over 180 million years ago, Gondwana split into these 3 landmasses. Today, remnants of an ancient continent lie beneath Antarctica, one we've never had the opportunity to study. Now, who knows what information this astounding landmass could reveal? Number 19. 1 million-year-old DNA. Researchers recently discovered ancient DNA in deep-sea sediments in the icy waters of the Scotia Sea, just north of Antarctica. This DNA turned out to be a staggering 1 million years old, the oldest authenticated marine sedimentary DNA, or simply cetDNA on record. But what exactly is cetDNA? Well, think of it as a relatively new technique like a molecular time machine. It allows scientists to peek into the past and see who was living in the ocean and when. This technique is crucial because it can reveal information about marine organisms that don't leave fossils behind, like krill, a vital food source for Antarctic wildlife like penguins, seals, and whales. For this discovery, an international team, including scientists from the University of Tasmania and the University of Bonn, dug deep into the ocean's past. They used sediments gathered in 2019 during the IODP Expedition 382. And yes, they had to be super careful about contamination to ensure the DNA they found was genuinely ancient. There's much to learn about this cetDNA, with researchers still studying it to this day. Number 18. A wallet lost 53 years ago. Imagine losing your wallet while walking in the city. There's a significant possibility that someone found it, and it's up to them whether to reach out or keep the cash and credit cards for themselves. Now, here's an unlikely situation. Imagine losing your wallet in Antarctica. It may sound impossible, but a man unfortunately faced this unlucky predicament over 5 decades ago. This is Paul Grisham. In 2021, the 91-year-old was delighted to be contacted by workers who claimed they had found his wallet on the White Continent. But how exactly did it end up there? You see, over half a century ago, Paul was stationed in Antarctica for Operation Deep Freeze. He worked there from 1967 to 1968. This operation involved providing logistical support to civilian scientists on the continent. Paul's wallet was discovered behind a locker during the demolition of a building on Ross Island in 2014. This wallet contained items that encapsulated his life and times in the Navy, including his Navy ID card, driving license, beer ration punch card, and receipts for money orders sent to his wife, among other things. Finding Paul, however, wasn't as easy as it sounds. The wallet's return was made possible by a group of amateur detectives who embarked on a weeks-long quest, exchanging emails, letters, and Facebook messages to track down Paul. This search effort was led by Bruce McKee, an Air Force veteran who runs a non-profit honoring retired service members. Bruce claims that he deeply respects those who have served and understood the sentimental value of such an item. Upon receiving the message, Paul was positively delighted. He claimed that he didn't even remember losing the wallet in the first place. He also shared the time when he worked on the icy continent. He described his time in Antarctica as relentless cold, with winter days typically reaching -65 degrees. His experiences ranged from the practical challenges of living in such an extreme climate. During his time there, Paul witnessed the station's population shrink from around 1,100 workers in the summer to a mere 100 in the winter, leading to a life of canned food and long nights of chess to pass the time. The return of the wallet, in perfect condition despite its age and journey, is indeed an amazing and life-changing experience, not only for Paul but for those who are touched by his story. Number 17. Possible UFO buried in Antarctic snow. Recently, the internet and conspiracy theorists have been intrigued by a bizarre feature on Google Maps. At these coordinates, you can see what looks like a crashed UFO. This feature, measuring about 65 feet wide and 230 feet long, appeared as a distinct indentation in the snow, with no other tracks around it, fueling speculation about its extraterrestrial origins. The discovery was made by Russian UFO enthusiast Valentin Degtyarev, who proclaimed it to be a classically shaped UFO. Well, I just told you guys that there's an abundance of meteorites in Antarctica. What if aliens find this continent to be the perfect hiding spot for their spaceships as well? Now, it's important to note that this is all just speculation, and there's no solid proof about this continent. According to experts, what might appear as a spacecraft is, in fact, a crevasse, a common crack in the ice that forms due to the differential movement of ice. Crevasses can be spectacularly large, contributing to the mysterious allure of such formations. Number 16. 5,000-year-old penguin graveyard. Whales, seals, albatrosses, seabirds, and penguins, these pretty much sum up the residents of the South Pole. These creatures are among the few that manage to endure the extreme conditions this continent has to offer. This recent revelation, however, shed light on one of the longest-standing residents of the area. In 2020, scientists were baffled when they stumbled upon a 5,000-year-old graveyard of Adelie penguins in the Ross Sea region of Antarctica, a place known to this day to be a thriving hub for nearly 1 million breeding pairs of Adelie penguins annually. The presence of both mummified and seemingly fresh remains of penguin chicks, alongside older fossils, revealed that the area has been a breeding ground for penguins for over several millennia. Radiocarbon dating indicates that the penguins occupied this site during 3 distinct periods, with the earliest dating back about 5,000 years. The most recent occupation ended roughly 800 years ago, likely coinciding with the onset of the Little Ice Age, which could have increased snow levels and made the area less hospitable for the penguins. In time, this breeding ground may once again be filled with Adelie penguins, continuing this region's legacy from 5,000 years ago. Number 15. Mystery of the Blood Falls finally solved. The mystery of the Blood Falls is among the most intriguing secrets of the cold Antarctic. As its name suggests, this body of water is a stark crimson, contrasting the white ice surrounding it. This curious body of water can be found in the McMurdo Dry Valleys. For so long, scientists have been wondering just what exactly it is. There have been many hypotheses over the years, and it seems like recently, its secret has finally been unlocked. Its origins date back millions of years to when the Antarctic region underwent significant geological and climatic changes. Around 5 million years ago, the eastern areas of Antarctica experienced flooding, forming lakes and pools on the surface. As the climate cooled, glaciers began to form over these water bodies, trapping them beneath layers of ice. The trapped water, now cut off from the atmosphere and devoid of oxygen, became increasingly rich in iron due to the glaciers grinding the bedrock below. This process also left the water extremely salty, creating a brine with a salt content 3 times that of seawater. This high salt concentration lowers the freezing point of the brine, allowing it to remain liquid even in the frigid Antarctic temperatures. The crimson water results from the oxidation of the iron in the brine when it comes into contact with the air. Think of it as a process similar to rusting. Finally, after years of being studied, the secret behind this red color is revealed. However, scientists assert that there's still much to learn about the Blood Falls. Number 14. Tunnels as tall as the Eiffel Tower. This discovery proves that there's much hidden beneath the ice of Antarctica. Who would have thought that on this icy continent are tunnels, with some being so deep that they're nearly as tall as the Eiffel Tower? These tunnels, discovered under the Filchneron ice shelf in West Antarctica, measure an impressive 820 feet in height. Researchers from UK universities and the British Antarctic Survey flew over the continent's ice shelf and found these impressive caverns. They found that these enormous channels were formed by meltwater flowing underneath the ice over land and into the ocean. This challenges the belief that meltwater spreads under ice sheets in thin, continuous layers. Instead, water appears to move in focused channels, similar to rivers beneath the ice. Number 13. 66-million-year-old fossil. Scientists are creative and logical, but even the most brilliant among them in the field of science get stumped sometimes. Take, for example, this instance when researchers discovered a remarkable 66-million-year-old fossilized reptile egg. Well, at least now we know what it is. You see, this egg was so perplexing that researchers had no idea what to make of it when they first found it, and so they nicknamed it the Thing. This egg measures about 11 inches long and 7 inches wide, and for nearly a decade, it sat unlabeled in Chile's National Museum of Natural History. For years, it wasn't until recently that researchers, after a close examination, realized that it was an egg. This giant egg, second in size only to the extinct elephant bird's egg from Madagascar, is believed to have been laid by a mosasaur, a prehistoric sea lizard. The discovery of baby and adult mosasaur and plesiosaur skeletons nearby suggests the area might have been a nursery site. The egg's large size and thin shell hint at unique reproductive adaptations linked to mosasaur gigantism. Scientists are still trying to determine whether the ancient reptile hatched on land or underwater, as modern sea snakes and sea turtles do. It's quite astounding what a single egg can reveal. Number 12. Meteorites of the Antarctic. Did you know that more meteorites have been found in Antarctica than on all other continents combined? Yes, you heard that right, but it's not because of a mysterious force attracting meteorites to this icy continent. You see, meteorites can fall anywhere on Earth. These space-age rocks, remnants from the formation of our solar system, actually fall evenly across the Earth, but due to certain unique conditions, they're more likely to be found and preserved in Antarctica. Therefore, there's a higher chance of stumbling upon meteorites. There's also the fact that Antarctica is mainly devoid of terrestrial rocks, making these extraterrestrial visitors stand out. One exciting expedition in December 2022 managed to unearth one of the heaviest meteorites ever found in Antarctica. Using satellite imagery to guide them, researchers located a meteorite weighing 16.8 pounds. But you see, weight isn't the most important factor to a meteorite. It's the information it reveals about the universe. Who knows, perhaps one of the many space rocks in the South Pole holds a groundbreaking secret that will challenge our understanding of space. Number 11. The mystifying secrets of Antarctica's Lake Vostok. Nestled deep beneath the icy surface of Antarctica lies a mysterious world untouched by sunlight for millions of years. This is Lake Vostok. This massive subglacial lake is roughly the size of North America's Lake Ontario, and it still has a lot of secrets. Scientists believe that this place holds secrets about the Earth's past. This lake was discovered by Russian geographer Andrei Kapitsa, who first suspected the existence of a giant liquid lake hiding under the East Antarctic ice sheet. His suspicion, stemming from seismic data analysis in the 1950s, was confirmed decades later in 1996 through radio echo surveying and satellite measurements. More than 2 miles of ice separate Lake Vostok from the surface, making it among the most remote lakes on Earth. Scientists estimate that this lake has been in existence for millions of years already, about 15 million. This place is devoid of sunlight, but with life existing in caverns and even in the hottest bodies of water on Earth, there may be life in Lake Vostok's waters. Until we learn more about it, we have no choice but to speculate. Number 10. The Colossal Squid Expedition. The Colossal Squid, this creature is said to be among the largest in the ocean, growing more than 46 feet long. The earliest known specimens of this species were found in the stomach of a sperm whale around 1925. It wasn't until March of 2003 that a complete specimen of a female colossal squid was found in the Ross Sea, with a total length of 18 feet. So far, the largest specimen we've discovered and confirmed measures 33 feet. This creature, initially considered a cryptid or a creature that only exists in legends, is now the target of an expedition in Antarctica. This expedition to find the colossal squid is spearheaded by the Ocean Exploration and Conservation nonprofit Colossal, with the aim of unraveling the mysteries of this giant of the ocean. The team is equipped with state-of-the-art subsea cameras and lighting systems developed by SUBC Imaging. They seek answers to fundamental questions about the colossal squid, its size, preferred habitat, breeding behavior, and the function of its massive eye. Could it be used for offense, defense, or is it attracted to light displays? How does the squid utilize bioluminescence? The expedition is set to coincide with the 100th anniversary of the colossal squid's first discovery in 1925, when remains were found in the stomach of a sperm whale. Since then, only a handful of these creatures have been observed alive or caught in fishing nets. You see, we've discovered several specimens of this massive animal before, but we have yet to study it properly. Observing these creatures is challenging since their habitat extends as deep as 6,600 feet beneath the ocean's surface. Scientists continue to hope that the elusive colossal squid will finally show itself. Number 9. A huge ice fish colony. In the chilly, mysterious depths of Antarctica's Weddell Sea, scientists stumbled upon the largest colony of fish nests ever seen while doing a routine seafloor analysis in Antarctica. This nest sprawled across 240 square kilometers, or about 92 square miles. The nests of these creatures are well crafted, about 15 centimeters deep and 75 centimeters in diameter, with a central area of small stones standing out against the muddy seabed. Each nest cradles 1,500 to 2,500 eggs, often guarded by an adult ice fish. Of course, researchers were quite delighted. The team, after 4 hours of initial disbelief, spent the next 4 days documenting over 60 million active nests. The size of this colony is almost unfathomable, nearly as large as Orlando, Florida. The presence of this massive colony might have significant implications for the local food web. Researchers suggest that these fish are a crucial food source for Weddell seals, with 90% of the seals' diving activities occurring within this region. Since these creatures are among the few with antifreeze in their bloodstream, they're among the most hardy creatures in this region of the ocean. Number 8. New deepest point on Earth. 24,400 feet below sea level. That's the new record for the greatest terrestrial depth we've reached. With a depth equivalent to about 17 Empire State Buildings stacked from bottom to top, the Factory Deep is the deepest point in our planet's ocean. This point, located in Antarctica's frigid Southern Ocean, was discovered in 2019 by American explorer and entrepreneur Victor Vescovo. Despite that fact, it wasn't until recently that this part of the ocean was mapped. The sprawling map revealed undersea mountains, canyons, and plateaus beneath the Southern Ocean that had never been seen before. This mapping wouldn't be possible without the International Bathymetric Chart of the Southern Ocean, which began charting the Southern Ocean in 2013, and the Nippon Foundation JEBCO Seabed 2030 project. Together, these organizations aim to map the entire global seafloor by 2030. It's a huge undertaking, but the information we'll be able to gather will help us understand more about the planet we live on. Just the mapping of the Antarctic Ocean itself required a lot of effort. You see, this new map of the Factory Deep alone needed over 1,200 sonar datasets. Today, the IBCSO is encouraging all ships passing through the Southern Ocean to turn on their sonar to help gather data for the project. Number 7. Shipwreck of Shackleton's Endurance. In 1914, Sir Ernest Shackleton set his sights on what he believed to be the last great Antarctic challenge, a transcontinental journey from sea to sea crossing the pole. This was to be the Imperial Transantarctic Expedition. In 1914, Shackleton's dreams began to materialize. He raised a substantial sum of money, enough to purchase and outfit 2 ships, the Endurance for the Weddell Sea Party and the Aurora for the Ross Sea Party. The Endurance, initially named Polaris, was a sturdy 300-ton barquentine ideally suited for the harsh conditions they would face. The plan was ambitious. Shackleton and his team aimed to make a groundbreaking 1,800-mile journey across Antarctica. The Endurance would carry the team to Vostok Bay, from where Shackleton and a select group would begin their continental crossing, while the Aurora, operating from the opposite side of the continent, would lay supply depots for the latter part of Shackleton's trek. However, the expedition faced challenges from the outset. Just as the world was grappling with the outbreak of World War I, the Endurance set sail towards the Antarctic. The ship became trapped in pack ice in the Weddell Sea. For months, Shackleton and his crew were stranded on the ice. They faced extreme cold, dwindling supplies, and the constant threat of the ice crushing their ship. In April 1915, the The situation reached a critical point when the ice floe they were camped on split, forcing them to take to the lifeboats. It wasn't an easy feat to survive the challenge the Antarctic gave them. The men had to endure freezing conditions, hunger, and exhaustion. After an arduous journey, they landed on Elephant Island, their first contact with solid ground in over a year. Do you think that was it? Not quite. Knowing that rescue was unlikely, Shackleton made a bold decision. With 5 companions, he embarked on an 800-mile journey to South Georgia in one of the lifeboats, the James Caird. They reached the island after a harrowing 16 days at sea, but their journey was not yet complete. They had landed on the uninhabited side of South Georgia. Shackleton, along with 2 others, then undertook a treacherous 36-hour trek over uncharted mountains and glaciers to reach a whaling station. His arrival at the station, disheveled and weather-beaten, was nothing short of miraculous. The station manager, upon seeing these ragged men, was astounded to learn their leader was none other than Shackleton himself. Rescuing the remaining crew members on Elephant Island was another formidable challenge. Shackleton's persistence paid off when, on August 30, 1916, after several failed attempts, the Chilean ship Yelcho, commandeered by Shackleton, reached Elephant Island and brought the crew to safety. And yes, despite enduring some of the most extreme conditions imaginable, every member of the Endurance crew survived. This extraordinary expedition remains one of the greatest survival stories in the annals of exploration. It's no wonder that the wreck of Endurance remains one of the most significant discoveries in Antarctica. The wreck was discovered in 2022 in the icy depths of the Weddell Sea. The Endurance 22 expedition, led by John Shears, embarked on a mission to locate the historic vessel. The team, aboard the S.A. Agulhas II, a South African icebreaker and polar research vessel, braved the treacherous Antarctic conditions. Funded by an anonymous benefactor, the $10 million project utilized cutting-edge technology and deployed 2 submersibles to scan the seafloor. The Discovery, made over 9,840 feet below the surface, revealed the wreck in stunning condition. Images captured by the submersibles showed the ship upright and well-preserved, with the bold letters of her name still visible above the stern. The wreck's preservation is attributed to the cold Antarctic waters, which have protected it for over a century. Number 6. Thriving phytoplankton. It seems that creatures are thriving secretly in Antarctica, creatures so small that they've been able to live without scientists noticing their existence until recently. Not only that, but these creatures were once thought to be unable to survive in the conditions of the Antarctic. You see, about a decade ago, scientists believed that the thick ice cover in the Antarctic waters prevented phytoplankton growth for most of the year due to limited sunlight penetration. However, recent discoveries proved otherwise. Underwater instruments and NASA's ICESat-2 satellite revealed that Antarctic sea ice is not the impenetrable fortress we once thought it was. It's full of fractures and openings, allowing enough sunlight to slip through for phytoplankton to flourish. These microscopic plant-like organisms, akin to the grasses of the ocean, perform photosynthesis, absorbing sunlight and nutrients to create energy. Who knows what other life is thriving in these cold waters? Number 5. Wood-eating fungi. In the frosty, treeless terrain of Antarctica, a surprising discovery was made: wood-eating fungi feasting on historical relics from the era of polar exploration. These fungi were found degrading the wooden huts built by legendary explorers like Ernest Shackleton and Robert Scott over a century ago. Now, you see, wood-eating fungi, of course, need wood to survive, and yet these organisms thrive solely on the wood left behind by researchers. After all, the icy continent of Antarctica has been devoid of trees for millions of years. No one would have thought that wood-decaying fungi would be native to the region, but nature always surprises us. Number 4. Antarctic pyramid. In addition to UFOs, there's also news about a pyramid hidden in Antarctica, pyramids that resemble those in Egypt. Now called the Antarctic Pyramid, this curious structure found in the Ellsworth Mountains caught the attention of conspiracy theorists who suggested it might be evidence of ancient civilizations or even extraterrestrial activity. However, there's also a chance that this structure is a natural feature. The so-called pyramid is, in reality, a naturally formed mountain. After all, the Ellsworth Mountains, where this pyramid-like peak is located, are the highest mountain range in Antarctica and stretch over 400 kilometers. Geologists explained that the peak's pyramidal shape is simply a coincidence, a result of natural geological processes. But, of course, many continue to be fascinated by the idea that this pyramid signifies an ancient settlement in the area. Number 3. Antarctica's mysterious mountains. Discovered in 1958, The Gamburtsev Mountains are among the most mysterious geological features on Earth. These mountains, believe it or not, are as grand as the European Alps, yet they've remained unseen, tucked away under up to a staggering 9,842 feet of ice. These mountains took about 1 billion years to form, a result of continental drift pushing two plates together, creating the supercontinent of Rodinia. However, time eroded this early range, leaving only a deep, cold root visible in seismic images today. Now, between 250 and 100 million years ago, when dinosaurs still ruled our planet, the Earth's crust moved again, resulting in the partition of the East Antarctic Rift System. This gave rise to the Gamburtsev Mountains once more. Glaciers and rivers then carved deep valleys, lifting the peaks into a breathtaking landscape comparable to the Alps. And then, about 34 million years ago, the East Antarctic ice sheet formed, covering an area as large as Canada. This massive ice sheet has protected the mountains ever since, and so, to this day, there's much to learn about these hidden features. Number 2. 50-million-year-old worm in a cocoon. Did you know that one of the oldest worms found on our planet was discovered in Antarctica? Well, it's not exactly a live worm but a fossilized cocoon of a worm that lived a staggering 50 million years ago. However, there's a surprise in the ancient casing, the world's oldest known animal sperm. While examining rock samples from Antarctica, researchers accidentally stumbled upon the fossil while searching for small animal remains. While sifting through the samples, they identified fossilized worm cocoons. A more detailed inspection using an electron microscope unveiled the existence of numerous trapped sperm cells within the cocoons. What's fascinating is that these worms, being all soft tissue, are rarely found in the fossil record. However, they have robust, egg-like cases that can withstand the test of time and fossilization. By comparing the physical attributes of the fossilized sperm with those of contemporary worms, the research team determined that they belong to annelids, the group of animals that includes earthworms and leeches. Specifically, the fossil sperm closely resembled the sperm of present-day crayfish worms, small leech-like creatures residing on crayfish shells and feeding on decaying organic matter. Remarkably, modern crayfish worms are only documented in the northern hemisphere. If the identification is accurate, it suggests that this animal group had a much broader geographic distribution 50 million years ago than it does today. This discovery beat the previous record for the oldest known animal sperm by a whopping 10 million years, expanding our knowledge in paleontology. Now it's time for today's topic. The first ever footage from beyond the ice wall of Antarctica has terrified the whole world. As the ice in the South Pole slowly melts due to rising global temperatures, researchers have gained unprecedented access to some of the most remote and mysterious regions on Earth. While capturing images of the vast, icy landscape, something truly extraordinary was discovered. At first glance, the drone footage seemed to show nothing more than endless stretches of snow and ice. But upon closer inspection, researchers noticed something that defied all explanation: a massive, dome-like structure buried beneath the ice. The perfectly symmetrical dome, unlike anything ever seen before, appears to be of artificial origin. Speculation ran wild, with theories ranging from ancient civilizations to extraterrestrial activity. The structure, partially exposed due to melting ice, seems to be made of a metallic material that reflects the harsh Antarctic sunlight. Some experts suggest it could be a remnant of a lost civilization, while others believe it might be a hidden base or even a spacecraft. As more footage and data are analyzed, the mystery deepens. What could this colossal structure be? Is it evidence of advanced technology that predates human history, or something far more unsettling? The discovery has left scientists and conspiracy theorists alike both fascinated and terrified. What do you think this could be? Let me know in the comments below. Number 1. Hidden world. Beneath the icy surface of Antarctica lies a hidden world, but it's not what you're thinking. The Ross Ice Shelf, a gigantic floating body of ice on the southern edge of Antarctica, conceals this fascinating subterranean habitat. Researchers, delving into the icy depths, drilled down an impressive 1,640 feet, using a hot water hose to melt through the ice. Their efforts were rewarded when a camera lowered into the newly created cavern revealed a swarm of amphipods, small, shrimp-like creatures bustling around in the depths. This discovery contradicts the usual perception of Antarctica as the coldest, driest, and iciest place on Earth. The presence of such a lively ecosystem deep beneath the ice is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of life. The researchers were astounded to find life forms in such an extreme and remote environment, describing their reaction as akin to jumping up and down for joy. This discovery allows us to understand the Antarctic environment better. Now, this definitely makes me wonder what other astounding and bizarre creatures have evolved without humans noticing. But what other secrets do they hold? Well, we're yet to know. Which of these discoveries intrigued you the most? Let me know in the comments. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video.